As soon as he entered the reception room, Jiro immediately got up and said enthusiastically, "Oh, you must be Mr. Liang." Liang nodded. "Yes, it's me. Your Excellency is Mr. Jiro?" "Yes, it's right here." Jiro smiled respectfully and said, "Mr. Liang, we meet for the first time, please take care of me." Liang had known about the things that Kobayashi's brother and Ichiro had done. Therefore, he has always been wary of Jiro. So he frowned and asked, "Mr. Kobayashi, don't know what it is for you to come here at this time?" Jiro laughed and complimented, "I heard that your company has launched a Wizen. It happens that our Kobayashi Pharmaceutical also has a Kobayashi Wizen that is sold throughout Asia, so I want to come over and talk to Mr. Liang about the cooperation." "Cooperation?" Liang said without hesitation. "I'm sorry, Mr. Kobayashi, we JX Pharmaceutical. There's nothing to cooperate with Kobayashi Pharmaceutical." Jiro didn't expect Liang to refuse so simply. "Think about it anyway, or pretend to think about it. Isn't this respect due to business negotiations?" Although he was angry, Jiro was still holding back his anger. He kept the gentleman smiling, and said to Liang, "Mr. Liang, please forgive me for speaking more bluntly. None of your JX Pharmaceuticals can be regarded as a top pharmaceutical company in China, but it is even more inconspicuous when placed in the world if you want to go abroad and enter the Asian market or even the global market. With your company's strength, it is impossible to make a breakthrough." Speaking of this, he patted his chest and said with a bit of pride, "But our Kobayashi Pharmaceuticals is different. We have a history of several decades, and we have already had a certain degree in the international market. Popularity is soaring. What's more, our overall strength is much stronger than yours, our production line is much more advanced than yours, and our production capacity is much ahead of yours. In this case, JX Pharmaceutical has no way to compete with Kobayashi Pharmaceutical. In comparison, with such a good opportunity, why not cooperate in depth with Kobayashi Pharmaceutical?" Liang sneered and said, "Mr. Kobayashi, JX Pharmaceutical is indeed not as large as Kobayashi Pharmaceutical, but I believe that with the excellent efficacy of our products, we can grow rapidly even if it is spread by word of mouth. It's not a problem at all to break out of Asia and go to the world. Even if we don't need to go abroad, foreign consumers will take the initiative to come to us to buy. This is the attraction of good things." Jiro's expression was a little ugly. He knew how good JX Wizen was. With the mentality of trying it out last night, he ate a pack of JX Wizen. As a result, the stomach discomfort was completely relieved, and there is no sign of recurrence. Both the effect and the duration of the medicine are much stronger than the Kobayashi's stomach powder. Therefore, according to this trend, once this JX Wizen is launched, Kobayashi's Wizen may completely lose the market. And the whole world has a common law: once a product is extremely good, it will trigger the spontaneous transmission of users, and then immediately cause extremely rapid viral transmission. After all, the spread of word-of-mouth effect is more effective than any kind of advertising. Therefore, he could only hold back the anger in his heart, and smiled and said to Liang, "Mr. Liang, I know your products are really good, but to be honest, your productivity, production process, etc. Kobayashi still has a good reputation. It's a big gap. Furthermore, you want to raise the output in a short period of time. I am afraid it will be very irritating. After all, you have to choose a site for expansion, build a factory building, and introduce a new production line. In this process, every 1 or 2 years will not start at all. In 1 or 2 years, you will not be able to quickly occupy the market due to insufficient production capacity. If you are willing to cooperate with Kobayashi Pharmaceuticals, then Kobayashi Pharmaceuticals can make up for your shortcomings to a large extent. We will work together and make a fortune together. At that time, I can transfer all production lines of Kobayashi Pharmaceutical to JX Wizen. We can set a cooperation ratio. For example, if you get 60%, I will take 40%, and then rename JX Wizen to JXK Wizan. A cooperative product of JX Pharmaceutical and Kobayashi Pharmaceutical. You have to know that the productivity of Kobayashi Pharmaceuticals is at least 8 to 10 times that of your JX Pharmaceuticals. We have multiple production lines in Japan, and 3 production lines in China and Southeast Asia. The technical content of each production line is top in the world. If you want to build so many production lines, it will take at least 5 to 8 years. In that case, why are you not willing to cooperate with us? Jiro talked a lot. The only thing that Liang felt was the lack of productivity of JX Pharmaceutical. JX Pharmaceutical is the former Waze Pharmaceutical, and the scale of Waze Pharmaceutical is a huge difference compared to Kobayashi's. Among other things, all the assets of Waze Pharmaceuticals before totaled 2 to 3 billion, but the cash that was taken away by Charlie alone for Kobayashi Pharmaceuticals had a full 11 billion, and the market value of Kobayashi Pharmaceuticals is more than 100 billion, at least for Waze Pharmaceutical, tens or even hundreds of times.